Hey guys, I'm Jamie. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a nice flow that will open up the throat chakra today with some breath and with some movement. And if you love it, I hope you'll like the video, leave a comment, maybe subscribe for more. I'd love to have you join me for videos in the future. I am not going to be teaching with props today, but if you love props, please feel free to incorporate them in, blocks, blankets, and this is a really good flow for, all levels of yoga. Feel free to mix it up a little more if you like to get fancier or go a little more advanced. And let's head back to the mat. We're going to begin today's practice in a seat. So find your way into whatever feels comfortable for you, maybe taking some side-to-side shifts and allowing your weight to evenly distribute on the sits bones. Roll the shoulders back a few times. Find a nice tall, long spine and close the eyes if it's comfortable. Just really feel the sensation of your breath flowing in and out through your nose and the temperature of the air as it travels up and down the throat. You can begin to deepen the breath as you feel ready. Arriving in the space that you're in this moment, within your body. Letting yourself be completely present, completely centered here. You might bring your attention to rest at the pit of the throat as you breathe. Let your breath become a nice, natural, and steady flow. When you're ready, float the eyes open. We're going to practice some lion's breath here from our seat. And I encourage you to really let loose with this, make some noise. So our lion's breath is going to be a breath in through the nose, and then a breath out with the mouth open and the tongue out, and some sound. So, all right, so we're going to do that 5 times in a row. You can do it with the eyes open or closed. Take a big inhale in through the nose. Back to your natural breath in and out through the nose, hopefully feeling that throat chakra starting to open up a little bit. And let's drop the chin forward towards the chest. Take some breaths here into the back of your neck, noticing how that feels. If you've got any strain or tension there, just breathing into it. We'll start to move slowly side to side with the head. So just starting really gentle here, a little back and forth. Shift. Maybe starting to take that a little bit bigger as you're ready, and if the neck says that feels okay. And when you're ready, you can shift this into full circles of the neck, letting the head fall all the way back, throat opening towards the ceiling, and then bringing it back around. Take a few more of those in this first direction, whatever direction you're going. And then shift to the other direction. Take some of those big neck circles the other way. And as you come back, chin towards chest, we'll just pause there. Inhale, lift the head back upright. clasp the hands, draw the knuckles down, shoulders back, and lift the throat towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. And then slowly release that clasp, sweep the hands in front of you, walk your fingertips forward. Just find a little forward fold here, doesn't have to be really deep, just find where it feels good for you. And then inhale to walk it back up. And we'll do that again, but this time let's switch out the cross of the legs, so bringing opposite leg in front. Bringing the hands behind your back, maybe finding the opposite clasp if that feels okay for you. So you have that opposite knuckle on the top. It's a little funny feeling usually. Draw the knuckles down, shoulders back, lift the throat. And then release that clasp, sweep the hands in front of you, and again, just find the fold. Just far enough that your body is agreeing with it. Letting your body sink in, softening into the hips. And then inhale, walk it back up. And we're gonna roll it up and over to tabletop. So we're coming to hands and knees. Knees are under the hips and wrists are directly below the shoulders. Pressing the earth away from you, find some length in your spine. And we'll move into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, and then think about opening the throat forward towards the wall in front of you. Exhale, dropping tailbone towards the floor, rounding the spine and moving the chin towards the chest. Continue with your breath here. Maybe closing your eyes and turning your attention to the throat center, the pit of the throat. Continuing to flow with your breath here. One more round. We'll make our way back to neutral in our tabletop. We're going to shift the hands forward about 6 inches and then shift the hips forward. So we're making a plank from our knees. Nice and strong through the core. We want our hips in line with the knees and the shoulders. Draw the elbows in, and as you exhale, lower, elbows graze the ribcage all the way down to the mat. And then inhale, peel the heart up for cobra, just lifting the heart forward. Little bend in the back, and then exhale to release it down. And we'll do that again. Inhale, lift, maybe slightly higher this time. Exhale, release. And then one more time, even a little higher if it feels good. I'm just straightening slightly more into the arms. And exhale, release it down. Perfect, pressing into the palms. Press yourself up, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So our feet are about hip distance. Bent knees are okay here always if that helps you get a longer, straighter spine. And then you might play with pedaling it out for a few rounds of breath, bending into one knee and then the other. Getting a little opening and a stretch through the backs of the legs. Getting all those creaks and pops out. I don't know if you can hear mine. And then coming back to stillness, pressing heels towards the earth, pressing chest towards the thighs, pressing the top of the mat away from you. And taking gaze up between the hands, just take little tiptoe baby steps up to meet your hands so that we end up in a forward fold at the top of the mat. Got a loud bird out there. I don't know if you could hear that either. Inhale, find a half lift. Hands might come to shins. Lengthen your spine. Pull the throat forward. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Reach for the ceiling. Draw the palms together, a little bend in the back. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. And then hands come to the sides of the body for mountain pose, palms forward. So here, you might just shift a little bit on the soles of the feet. Make sure you land with your weight nice and even. And then just walk the feet out so they're the width of the mat. So you're still standing, so you're facing the short edge of your mat. You just want to come to the edges of the mat with your feet. And then we're going to find that clasp behind the back again. Draw the knuckles down, shoulders back, lift the heart. Big inhale here, throat opening towards the ceiling. And then exhale, fold it forward, dropping the head towards the floor. Starting to lift the hands. They may not lift off the back, or they may lift really far, or maybe somewhere in between. Just do what feels good. Let your head hang heavy. And then release that clasp. Stay in that fold. Bring the hands down and find a clasp of opposite elbows. So you're just grabbing a hold of opposite elbows. Let yourself sway side to side. Nice and soft. A little ragdoll with the spine. Maybe even shaking the head out a little bit here. No and yes. Releasing hands down. Let's heel toe the feet back in about hip distance apart. Inhale, find that half lift. Lengthen the spine. Pull the throat forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep arms out and up, reaching for the ceiling. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Perfect. All right. Start to get moving a little bit here. We're gonna bring the feet in a little bit closer, maybe even bringing big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Coming into our fierce pose or our chair pose, you're setting back with the hips, arms extend up, biceps along the ears. So what we wanna think about here is dropping the tailbone towards the floor. So extending your spine downward so we don't end up with a really arched back. It may mean that you don't sit as far back, and that's okay. Also, notice if you're really hinged forward, that might mean you need to come a little higher so you can get those arms up alongside the ears. A couple more breaths here. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step the feet back, plank, top of a push-up. You can always bring the knees down just like we did earlier if you choose. And then we're gonna lower on the exhale, elbows hugging in. Inhale, either cobra or up dog. Cobra is thighs on the mat, up dog, thighs off the mat with straight arms, throat opens forward. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Feeling that air flow up and down along the throat. Then lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step it through. In between the hands, stepping pinky next to the right thumb. Pinky toe next to the right thumb. We're going to set up for warrior one. So we're dropping our left heel. Our foot's about a 45-degree angle. And we're squaring our hips to the front of the mat. You can always widen out your feet on the mat if that helps you get the hips square. Engage your core and inhale to rise, arms extend up. Now if you find that your hips are shifting to the side, you can always bring your hands to the hips and just give them a little reminder. Right hip back, left hip forward, hips are facing forward. Pinky spin in as we extend the arms up. Nice deep breaths up and down along the length of the spine. Sweep the arms behind the back, and we're going to find that clasp again. Drawing knuckles down, shoulders back, lift the heart. Keep that right knee bent over the ankle. And And then exhale, we're gonna drop right shoulder towards the inside of the right knee. So you don't have to come really far here, you're just coming as far as the body allows. Shifting that shoulder inside of the knee. Dropping the head, letting your neck be heavy. Humble warrior. Inhale, rise back up. Sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands sweep down either side of the foot. Tuck those left toes again. So you're in your runner's lunge. Plant the left hand. Inhale, right fingertips towards the ceiling. Gaze goes up. And sweep the right hand back down. Plant your hand there and just step it back. Find your downward dog. Back into downward dog. Maybe you notice one side feels a little different than the other. It's a good place to check in and be observant of that. And on the next inhale, left leg lifts up towards the ceiling. Exhale, step it through. Left pinky toe towards left thumb. Dropping the right heel down, we're ankling that right foot about 45 degrees, hips square to the front of the mat. Inhale to rise. And don't forget, option to adjust those hips with your hand or to widen out your stance if you need a little more of a base to get those hips squaring forward. Spinning pinkies in, soften through the shoulders. Sweep the hands behind you, and again, we've got that clasp. Again, this time that awkward clasp, if you can manage it with the opposite finger on top. Inhale, lift your heart, open your throat towards the ceiling, little bend in the back, shoulders draw back. Exhale, humble warrior, bow it forward, left shoulder towards the inside of the left knee. Head drops down. Inhale to rise. Sweep those arms back up overhead. Exhale, hands sweep down either side of the foot. Tuck the right toes, plant the right hand. Inhale, open it up into your twist. Left fingertips go high, gaze goes up. Exhale, sweep it down. Plant the hand, step back, plank. And then again, a flow here. So you can do that either from the knees or from the toes. Elbows hug in, dropping it down. Inhale, cobra or up dog for your back bend. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Gaze goes up between the hands, stepping or hopping the feet forward. Forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, bringing those toes close to each other, heels apart. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up as you set the hips back, fierce pose. Weight here is in the heels, tailbone drop downward, lengthening towards the floor. You should be able to lift and wiggle those toes. Inhale, straighten the legs, hands touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands to the sides of the body, shoulders back. Deep breaths. Next inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift to lengthen. Exhale to fold, plant the hands, step the feet back. Find your downward dog. And drop the knees. So knees can go apart or they can be together. You can decide what feels best for you. Untuck the toes and we'll just shift hips back towards the heels, settling in for child's pose. Dropping your forehead to the mat or to a block. Tuning into the sound of your breath, flowing in and out through your nose, maybe sweeping the arms back, wrapping them around the outside of the legs if that feels good. And plant your hands and rise up to the knees. And we'll shift it to a seat. Let's take the legs out long in front of us. Bring the hands behind you so that your fingertips are pointed towards you, supporting yourself from behind. So we're gonna take a reverse plank or a reverse tabletop here. It's your choice. So a reverse plank, you're just gonna plant the heels, lift the hips, keeping the body nice and straight. If it feels better to do that tabletop, just bend your knees, plant the soles of the feet, and lift the hips. So either way, find what feels good. Breathing here, lifting your throat towards the ceiling. And exhale, release it down. Sit up tall, flex your toes towards the ceiling, walk your hands forward, forward fold here. So you can grab on anywhere, maybe on the shins or the ankles, maybe grabbing the feet. Inhale to pull your heart forward, exhale to fold deeper. Inhale, walking that back up. You might hear my dog snores in the background. That's pretty much every video I make. You can hear him. It's cute though, so I don't worry about it. All right, one more time for that reverse plank or tabletop. Plant the hands behind you, fingers pointed towards you. Lift the hips, lift the throat. Gaze goes up. Hold strong through the core, strong through the arms. And then on the exhale, bring it back down, back to your tall seat, lengthening through the legs, flexing toes up, lengthening through the spine, and then walk it forward and find your fold. So think about pulling forward with the heart on an inhale, a little more length, and then softening into it on the exhale, dropping it down. And next inhale, walk it back up. And so from here, we will keep the left leg long and bend into your right knee. And you can either plant that foot inside of the left thigh or outside, entirely up to you. Keeping your left toes flexed upward, find length in your spine. Left hand comes to the right knee. We're just gonna sweep that right hand back and behind us. Inhale, finding length here. So starting with a long spine, and then as you exhale, twisting. So if you want to, you can always bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. It's up to you. And if it feels good, you can start to turn your gaze over the right shoulder. And then nice and slow, turn the gaze back towards center and unwind yourself. Taking that right leg out long, we'll take that to the other side. So this time bending into the left knee. And again, foot plants either inside or outside of the right thigh, flexing right toes, lengthening the spine, right hand to left knee, left hand behind the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to twist, maybe taking the elbow outside of the knee. And if it feels good, maybe beginning to turn the gaze over the left shoulder. Slowly turning the gaze back towards the front and unwinding yourself. all the way back. Shake out the legs. We'll come onto the back. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Rocking a little side to side here. Maybe some circles with the knees. And then finding a happy baby, drawing knees down, reaching up to grab a hold of the outer edges of the feet, or maybe the ankles or shins if that's more accessible. Pressing your low back down, letting your shoulders soften down. Nice deep breaths here. You can rock side to side if it feels good, or you can stay still, entirely up to you what feels best. And then releasing the feet and bringing them down. We'll take one round of bridge pose here. So planting your heels in near your sits bones. If you have a full wheel in your practice and you'd prefer that, you can do it, but I'm going to lead a bridge pose, planting the palms on either side of the hips. Press into the soles of the feet. Inhale, lift the hips high. Roll the shoulders underneath slightly. And squeeze the knees towards each other. It should be able to hold a tennis ball if you had one there. And if it feels good, you can find a clasp with the hands beneath the body. Draw the knuckles towards the heels. If you have the clasp, let it go. And slowly roll it down. Take your time. Coming back flat on the mat, draw the knees in and rock side to side. So we're coming into an inversion now, and there are some options here. So depending on your level of experience, be gentle with yourself here. So one option is just to take your legs straight up in the air. It's as if you're doing the legs up the wall. You just don't have a wall. And you can just be here with the arms at the sides of the body. And if this feels good, you can just stay exactly like this. If you have a shoulder stand in your practice that you know you can do safely on your own, you can start to rock the hips up and support the low back with the hands. Working to make a nice straight line with your body here. And if you just are taking that gentle inversion, stay as you are. If you're in the shoulder stand, feel free to take it into plow, dropping the tops of the feet towards the floor behind you. Making sure you're not turning the neck at all. Gaze stays upright, safety for the neck. And we'll all start to release out of that, coming back down, flat on our backs. Take your time to get there. And we'll take a fish pose. So planting the hands on either side of your hips. Plant the elbows and start to lift. So we're planting down through the forearms here, lifting the upper body, and then drop the head back, and maybe the head connects to the mat, or maybe it does not. We're opening up one more time here through the throat. And then carefully lift and release down. And here we're settling in for Shavasana. So just let your body go nice and limp here. Let the arms rest at the sides of the body. Get comfy, cozy if you have props you like to use. Let your breath become soft and settled. Eyes closed. And I'm going to leave you here. And I hope that you will take advantage of the Shavasana for maybe 5 or 10 minutes if you have the time for it. And I hope that I will have you join me again. Please Let me know if you like this video in the comments, subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a fantastic rest of your day.